What up?
Hi, why are you saying what up?
Today we're going to be talking about how to buy a used car without getting ripped off. My little sister called me last night and she is looking for a used car, and this is everything that I told her on the phone. I thought it might be helpful for other people.
Quick side note first, we are not going to be giving any tips on how to inspect a car mechanically before purchasing it, but there are a ton of videos on YouTube about it already. Mike put together a little playlist that you can find in the description below.
What we are going to be talking about is the financial side of buying a used car. What kind of car should you be buying? Where should you be looking for it? And how much should you pay? So the first question is new or used? It's probably not a surprise. We are sitting firmly 100% in the used camp. All of the arguments for a new car, including peace of mind and 0% financing and the inflated used car prices these days, even the I buy my cars new and I drive them into the ground argument, don't hold any water for me. I'm not gonna try and convince you otherwise. If you want a new car, go buy a new car.
Now onto the type of car we buy. We are very partial to Japanese imports such as Toyotas and Hondas.
Unfortunately, anecdotal evidence is completely useless because you could just as easily have an uncle that's said he's driven his 1972 Chevy since, 1972 and he's never had a problem. That's why I ponied up $6.95 to get access to Consumer Reports' Guide to the Most Reliable Used Cars.
Ironically, the most reliable small car under $10,000 is the 2004 to 2007 Prius, which is exactly what we have.
And I swear I had no idea when I started this video. I started the script and then I bought the subscription, and that's how it turned out. But the information is based on 1.1 million people being surveyed in 2014, so I'm not gonna argue with it. I don't think Consumer Reports would appreciate me giving away the entire list, but I think we can generalize a bit and say from a reliability standpoint, the best used car you can buy is a Toyota. Even Honda came in a distant second for a number of cars represented. Described as the worst of the worst, most Chevy cars, Dodge minivans, Ford trucks and SUVs, which surprised me, Mini Coopers, and the Volkswagen Beetle.
So now that we know the type of car we're going to buy, we need to know where to look. You have a few options. You have the name brand dealer, the independent street corner dealer, and then you can always buy privately.
I've only bought one car from a big brand name dealer, and the rest have all been dealt privately, so I can't speak too specifically about the other options. What I can say is that financially speaking, you will definitely get the best deal on a car buying from a private seller. I've bought many cars far below trade-in value on Craigslist.
If you're more comfortable buying from a dealer, that's not a bad thing. Just realize that you're paying a few $100s to a few $1,000s more for the convenience of seeing all of your options in one place.
And you're not really getting any more peace of mind per se by buying from a dealer. You can't return a car to a dealer if you change your mind or if you wake up with buyer's remorse the next day. And certified cars are not necessarily better than their uncertified counterparts. In fact, the term has no legal definition. There's no agency or watchdog group overseeing use of the word, and any dealer can sell a used car as certified and just roll the price of an extended warranty into the sticker price.
Speaking of, you should never buy an extended warranty on a used car.
According to Consumer Reports, 55% of people who purchased extended car warranties never used it. But even worse, those that did use their warranty were spared a median repair cost of $837 for a warranty that initially cost them $1,214. Yes, that results in a net loss of an average $375. Almost there. So we know what kind of car we want and we know where we're gonna buy it. But how much should we pay? I personally have a rule that I will not spend much more than KBB trade-in value for any car that I buy. And the reason I do this is because I know if I have major engine or transmission work, I'll still be able to sell the car without losing money. And if I don't have any problems with the car, then after we use it for a few years, we can sell it for what we paid or sometimes a small profit. But that's just me. I have the sickness. I love finding good deals and I don't mind working harder to try and find them.
But if the idea of negotiating gives you knots in your stomach, there's still a way that you can get a good deal without getting ripped off.
Here's a few tips. Number one, know the value of the candidate vehicle that you're going to look at. KBB and NADA used value guides will both put you in the ballpark. But most important is that you ignore the list price of the car that you're going to look at. If a car has a value of $10,000 and you paid $11,000, you got ripped off. Don't feel good about negotiating the price down from $14,000 to $11,000.
Number two, ignore questions about your finances. You don't need to reveal if you're going to be paying with cash or financing. And never tell them how much car you can afford because they'll make sure you spend every penny of that.
Number three, shoot for cars in the price range between $6,000 and $10,000. The reason being, it's too expensive for most cash buyers and it's too cheap for most banks to consider financing. It's also a sweet spot in reliability and depreciation. Cars in this range usually have 80 to 120,000 miles, which for a top-rated car still has plenty of life left in it, and most of the depreciation has leveled out.
And lastly, pay cash.
And that's pretty bold, but here's a few videos explaining kind of why we think that way. Right here, and here, and here, and here.
So let's recap and spell out the perfect car deal in less than 5 seconds.
Find a Toyota, 5 to 10 years old, $6,000 to $10,000, pay a mechanic to inspect it, and pay cash for it.
I think that was more than 5 seconds, but it was pretty close.
And that's just our opinion. Your mileage may vary.